That is the sound of controlled explosions happening hundreds of times per second inside a machine that fits under your hood. That is ancient geological pressure refined into liquid, ignited, and turned into forward motion. It's basically magic. It's also costing me $110 to fill up right now. So today, we're talking about something that makes a lot of car people uncomfortable. Should you ditch your gas car and go electric? And look, I love engines. I love the sound, the feel, the smell. I'm not here to tell you that EVs are better. I'm not an EV influencer. I'm not sponsored by a battery company, but I am a person with a bank account. And I'm going to give you all the numbers so you can make this decision yourself. Because right now, gas prices are making the numbers interesting. First, we need to go over why this is happening, because it's important context. Gas prices are tied to crude oil prices. Crude oil prices are largely controlled by OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. They're basically a cartel, but totally legal, that somehow just exists. And when they decide to pump less oil, the price goes up. And when there's a global conflict, the prices go up. And when refineries have issues, prices go up. You and your V8 are at the mercy of decisions made in boardrooms on the other side of the world. This isn't new. Gas was expensive in the 70s. It was expensive in 2008. It's expensive again now. It goes up, it comes down, but the long-term trend, it will only be getting more expensive. So anyone telling you to just wait for the gas prices to drop is technically correct sometimes, and dangerously wrong as a life strategy. The average American drives about 12,000 miles a year. The Mustang GT getting 18 miles per gallon is gonna chug about 665 gallons over the course of a year. At $4.50 a gallon, those 12,000 miles cost about $3,000. In the Tesla Model 3, those same 12,000 miles will only cost you about $550. That's a $2,400 a year difference. That's real money. That's a set of wheels and tires, or a weekend at a track event, or 4 months of car payments on a 2026 Acura Integra. But that is not the whole story, because when people tell you EVs are cheaper, they're usually using a super efficient gas car against a super efficient EV. They're not doing a Mustang versus a Model 3. They're doing a Prius versus a Model 3 and going, see, it's the same. It does the same. EV better. So what's actually apples to apples? Let's look at cars people actually cross-shop with the Model 3. On one hand, you have the Toyota Camry, which costs $1,700 in fuel over the 12,000 miles, versus the Tesla Model 3, which costs $550 over the 12,000 miles. That's a more typical comparison, and that's still $1,100 a year in savings with the EV. That's real, but it's a lot more modest than the scary headlines make it sound. The Model 3 starts at $38,000 to $40,000, and the Camry is around $28,000. That's a $10,000 to $12,000 price gap on day one before you've driven a single mile. At $1,100 a year in savings, it takes you 9 to 10 years just to break even on that upfront cost. The average person keeps a car for about 7. So without other factors, this math already doesn't work. Now, there's the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, which is real, and if you qualify, it brings that gap down to around $2,500 instead of $10,000 to $12,000, which means break even in about 2.5 years with the Tesla. That's a lot more reasonable. But here's what the EV hype machine doesn't tell you, is not every EV qualifies. Not every buyer qualifies. There are income caps and vehicle price caps, but if you do qualify, the math shifts significantly. And if you don't, you're looking at nearly a decade to break even. And in a decade, you could have had 3 different gas cars and had a great time with all of them. Let's talk about something the EV math doesn't capture. When you switch to an EV, you give up combustion. Not just the noise, but the whole experience. The vibration through the steering wheel. The exhaust note changing as the revs climb. The way a V8 sounds completely different at idle versus wide open throttle. The personality of each and every car and how little changes in the architecture of the engine or exhaust can dramatically change how the engine feels and sounds. An EV doesn't have personality. It has torque. Which, yes, instant torque is freaking fun, but it's the same fun every single time. Same number, same sensation, zero ceremony. It's like if your favorite album only had one song, and you had to only listen to that one song every time you wanted to listen to music. After a while, it gets boring, repetitive. It's a great song, just the same one over and over again, and a lot of the time leaves you wanting to listen to the whole album. Here's what else you give up. Most EVs do 250 to 350 miles. A gas car with a full tank does 400 to 500 plus. On road trips, you will be stopping more, and for longer. Even a DC fast charger takes 20 to 40 minutes for a meaningful charge. A gas station takes 5. Broken chargers, long waits, charger deserts in rural areas. But gas is everywhere. You can carry a gas can in an emergency. You cannot carry a spare kilowatt hour. You are at the mercy of where chargers exist. Batteries hate the cold. Your range can drop 20 to 40% in the winter. Your gas car does not care if it's January. The sound cannot be overstated. It's gone. Just gone. All you will hear from now on is a faint whir. None of these things make EVs bad, but they're real trade-offs, and you deserve to know about them before you trade in your V6 for a silent torpedo. I've been pretty honest about the downsides. Now let me be equally honest about where the EVs shine. There's no oil changes, no spark plugs, no timing belt, no exhaust system, no transmission fluid, and even fewer brake jobs because regenerative braking handles most of the stopping. Consumer Reports found EV owners spend about 40% less on maintenance over time. 40% is not nothing. If 95% of your driving is commuting, errands, school runs, an EV is genuinely pleasant. You plug in at home every night, you wake up to a full tank every single morning, you never stop at a gas station again. For a daily driver, that is the definition of convenience. And it's stupid fast off the line. A Model 3 Performance will smoke most muscle cars to 60 miles per hour. It's not the same kind of fun, but it is fun. If you drive a lot, own a home with a charger, and qualify for the tax credit, the long-term numbers are genuinely in the EV's favor. But the honest truth is EVs are excellent appliances. They are tremendously good at moving you efficiently from point A to point B. If you need your car to be an appliance, then yeah, an EV might make sense for you. But if your car is more than an appliance to you, if it's the thing that you look forward to on the drive home, then no budgeting spreadsheet is going to capture what you're giving up. Here's what I don't hear enough in this conversation. You don't have to pick one. A huge number of people already own 2 cars. What if one of them was an EV? Your daily driver, EV, efficient, cheap to run, you charge it at home, you never touch a gas pump for your commute, you save $1,000 to $2,000 a year in fuel alone. Your weekend car, your fun car, your track car, the thing that sounds like angels singing when you rev it, is gas with an engine that makes noise that you can modify, tune, and wrench on at 11 p.m. in your driveway with a cold beer in your hand. This is actually the move for a lot of enthusiasts. Get the boring trips out of the way in the EV, save the gas for when you actually want to drive. Some would say this is the best of both worlds, and I'm inclined to agree with said people. But the internal combustion engine is one of the greatest inventions in human history. It is spectacular and violent, and I love it. But the world is changing around it whether we like it or not. The good news is gasoline isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Classic cars will still exist, track events will still happen, V8 pickup trucks will be on the road in America for decades. But the days of not thinking about what your car costs to fuel, those days are probably gone. So the question isn't, are you an EV or are you a gas person? The question is, what does your life actually look like? What does your car actually mean to you? And what does the math say for your situation? Don't let anyone make you feel dumb for loving your gas car, but also don't let nostalgia cost you $1,000 a year for no reason. Both things can be true. Make the smart call. I am not switching.